Ladies and gentlemen, forget love, forget loyalty, because this wedding turned into a full-blown food fight with police sirens as background music. Just when we thought Remy Ma had hit rock bottom, she grabbed the wedding cake and threw it like a shot put straight at the altar. Yes, you read that right. $5,000 custom fondant cake, airborne. Splat. Everywhere. And right in front of 200 guests and a live stream that was still recording. So, what pushed Remy Ma over the edge? Was it the vows? The kiss? Or maybe just the sight of Claressa Shields in a white dress marrying her man, Papoose, while she stood in the shadows like an uninvited ghost. 1 second she was in the back row, silent. The next, she was screaming, "That should have been me," before launching a tier of red velvet like it was an Olympic event. Security was too slow. The guests were frozen. And before anyone could stop her, Remy was already in handcuffs, frosting on her nails, heels off, and yelling about betrayal. So, what really happened in those explosive 45 seconds? Stick around. The footage is wild, and the fallout is even worse. So, let's set the scene and know this isn't an episode of Scandal or a leaked love and hip-hop reunion. This is real, well, fake real, drama. Messier than a 3-tiered cake meeting gravity. The venue? Pure elegance. Think chandeliers, crystal flutes, live harpists flown in from France, and a guest list dripping with hip-hop royalty and A-list athletes. Claressa Shields and Papoose had pulled out every stop for this wedding. No budget cuts. No soft launches. This was a $1 million production wrapped in white silk. And right when the couple was about to say, "I do," the camera pans to the back. And who's that? You guessed it. Remy Ma, standing in the last row. Not blinking, not breathing, just staring.
No one knows how she got in.
Some say she bribed a caterer. Others say she posed as a +1 for a distant cousin. One security guard swears he saw her sneak in during the rehearsal posing as part of the flower arrangement team. But however she got in, she made sure she was seen. According to a waiter who barely made it out with his tray intact, Remy was dressed in a fitted black jumpsuit, hair pinned high, and heels so sharp they could have been weapons. She wasn't there to make peace. She was there to make headlines. And it didn't take long. Witnesses say she waited until Claressa and Papoose were halfway through their vows before making her move. And let's be honest, she didn't just interrupt. She detonated. "This is a joke, right?" she shouted, voice echoing across marble walls. Gasps. Audible gasps. One guest clutched their pearls, literally. Claressa tried to keep calm. She turned slightly, blinked once, and reportedly said, "You don't want to do this." But Remy had already locked eyes on the cake. A 6-foot, 3-tiered, hand-painted, red velvet and vanilla swirl, edible gold-flaked, fondant-covered monstrosity. It cost more than some down payments in New York. And in one swift motion, Remy rushed the cake table. "No one marries MY man and gets away with it," she screamed, before grabbing the top tier with both hands and flinging it like she was reenacting The Purge. Wedding edition. People ducked. Someone screamed. A bridesmaid fainted. An entire camera crew froze as the cake flew, a slow-motion arch of frosting and revenge, and landed splat across the altar, knocking over 2 candles, a champagne bottle, and part of Claressa's bouquet. Papoose's mouth dropped. He didn't even move. Just stood there, looking like someone had unplugged him from reality. Claressa, on the other hand, didn't even flinch. She reached for a napkin, calmly wiped frosting off her shoulder, and then gave Remy a look that witnesses say could cut concrete. Meanwhile, Remy was just getting warmed up. She started shouting, not just random insults, but deeply personal ones. "You think he forgot? You think all that loyalty he preached was for you? I held him down when he had nothing. Nothing. And now he gives you the dream I waited for." And that's when things really went off the rails. Remy allegedly attempted to grab the microphone from the DJ booth, but tripped over her own heel in the chaos. She crashed into the dessert table, breaking 3 crystal platters and smearing chocolate mousse across the floor like war paint. Security finally jumped into action. 2 guards moved in from the left, another from the right. But Remy, despite the fall, was still yelling. She ain't built for him. He's mine.
Always been mine.
This is a setup. Guests began live streaming. Phones were everywhere. Twitter was already exploding. The hashtag Remy ruins the reception started trending within 5 minutes. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, she tried to climb onto the altar. One bridesmaid reportedly tackled her mid-climb. Another poured water on her heels to keep her from standing up again. By the time police arrived, Remy was surrounded by floral centerpieces, broken glass, one fake eyelash hanging off, and a frosting-covered face. Officers asked her to stand. She refused. "I'm not moving until he looks me in the eyes and says he doesn't love me." Silence. Then Papoose, still standing at the altar, now frosting-stained and stunned, said quietly, "Remy, go home." And that was it. The officers moved in. Remy was escorted out, barefoot, still shouting, "He's lying. He's lying. This whole thing is fake." Outside, paparazzi were already waiting. Photos of Remy in handcuffs, barefoot, makeup smudged, rage on full display, hit the internet before she even reached the squad car. But here's the twist. The second she was out of sight, Claressa turned to the crowd and said, "Let's reset. From the top." They started the ceremony again. Same vows. Same kiss. Just with a little more frosting in the air. And that's where most people thought the story ended. But what the internet uncovered after the incident, that's what really sent this entire saga into viral overdrive. Because apparently, that cake toss wasn't just a random outburst, it was premeditated. Turns out, that cake toss wasn't just rage. It was a whole blueprint, a calculated, chaotic, frosting-flavored takedown. Because what leaked after the wedding shook the internet even harder than the cake shook the altar. Within 24 hours, anonymous sources began dropping receipts. The first was a blurry screenshot of a group chat allegedly titled The Plan. In it, a message from someone saved as R read, "Y'all got the timing right? I'm going in at 4:17. Get the second angle from behind the flowers." Let that sink in. This wasn't an emotional explosion. This was a coordinated ambush. And if that wasn't enough to cause concern, another message allegedly read, "When I throw the cake, make sure y'all record his face." Yes. She wanted the cake, and the reaction caught in 4K. The internet exploded. TikTok detectives immediately started analyzing camera angles. People slowed down footage, synced up timestamps, and overlaid dramatic music like it was the Zapruder film of hip-hop weddings. But wait, it gets messier. Another account posted what appeared to be a calendar event on Remy's phone labeled Wedding Interruption. The time? 4:15 p.m. The description? "He needs to see me. Was this real? Was it edited?" Nobody knows for sure, but it felt real. And that was all the internet needed. Twitter threads turned into investigations. Reddit subforums were on fire. One thread with 13K upvotes was titled, "How Remy Ma Orchestrated the Most Embarrassing Scene of 2025. Then came the leaked voicemail. Yes, a voicemail. Supposedly sent from Remy to a mutual friend 2 nights before the wedding. In it, a woman's voice, eerily familiar, says, "I don't care if it's messy. I don't care if it's tacky. If I gotta remind him in front of the whole world, I will." Cue emotional piano music. Cue the memes. Cue the think pieces. Because at this point, the incident wasn't just celebrity drama. It was a cultural event. Public reaction? Unhinged. Divided.
Loud.
Team Remy claimed she was a woman scorned. That she was acting from a place of heartbreak. That she gave Papoose everything, and watching him start over without her? Unforgivable. One fan tweeted, "She held him down through prison, through poverty, through the whole alphabet of struggles. And this is what she gets?" Cake tossing was the polite option. But Team Claressa wasn't having it. They said Remy had crossed every line imaginable. That the woman who once stood for female empowerment was now just another wedding crasher with a victim complex. An Instagram live from Claressa's sister that night added fuel to the fire. In it, she says, "We tried to be nice. We tried to keep her off the guest list without hurting feelings. But she wasn't supposed to be there. She showed up like a storm cloud with a wig. And then, Cardi B entered the chat. In a now viral tweet, Cardi wrote, "I'm just mad I wasn't invited to see this. Like y'all had cake flying and exes screaming and I was at home with a face mask on?" The post racked up 1.2 million likes in less than 12 hours. Not to be outdone, 50 Cent posted a photoshopped image of Remy mid-cake throw with a caption, "She brought the dessert and the drama." Meanwhile, social media sleuths noticed that Remy had quietly unfollowed everyone on Instagram, except Papoose. And if you thought the burner accounts weren't coming, you were wrong. Shortly after the incident, a mysterious Twitter account called @CakeGayQueen began posting cryptic messages. "He still calls me when she's asleep. You can wear white, but you'll never erase the truth. I didn't lose control. I took it back." Most assumed it was Remy. The bio? Built different. Still uninvited. By now, blogs were updating by the minute. Headlines ranged from Remy Ma's downward spiral, to Claressa's classy comeback, to Papoose stuck in emotional crossfire. And just when you thought this couldn't get more unhinged, Uber Eats dropped Remy as a partner. You read that right. Apparently, she had a promotional deal for a Remy meal deal. Some wings, mac and cheese, and a pineapple drink, but the company pulled it, citing public relations challenges. Another endorsement, a lash brand called Slay Silk, also cut ties. Their statement read, "We believe in beauty, not bitterness." Effective immediately, we are distancing ourselves from this unfortunate situation. Then came the fake pregnancy rumor. A blog claimed Remy had told someone on set weeks earlier that she was working on something permanent with Papoose and hinted at surprises. That was all the internet needed to assume she was pregnant. Multiple fan pages posted speculative timelines, with one saying, "She probably thought the wedding would get canceled and they'd have a reconciliation reveal." Others dug deeper. Someone posted alleged footage of Remy leaving a Manhattan OB/GYN office, but it turned out to be a nail salon next door. Didn't matter. The theory had gone viral. Meanwhile, Claressa stayed mostly silent, until her wedding photographer posted a photo dump of untouched, post-chaos moments. One image showed Claressa smiling, surrounded by frosting and flower petals, holding up a champagne glass like a true survivor. Caption, "The wedding wasn't perfect, but it was real, and we still said I do." That one photo got more love than most engagement announcements. Fans flooded the comments with praise, calling her the real champ, queen of calm, and the only woman to win a fight without throwing hands. But the final blow to Remy wasn't a meme, or a tweet, or even the Uber Eats deal. It was the legal paperwork that followed. Because Claressa wasn't just going to let this go. She wanted justice. By Monday morning, Claressa Shields wasn't smiling in pictures anymore. She was standing in a courtroom. Yes, less than 48 hours after Remy Ma turned her wedding into a viral frosting massacre, Claressa filed an emergency legal complaint. Not just a restraining order. Not just a cease and desist. She filed a full-on civil suit. The charge? Intentional disruption of a ceremonial event with hostile intent, resulting in emotional distress, property damage, and public defamation. Translation? You threw cake, broke plates, ruined vows, and embarrassed me in front of Rihanna's second cousin and a streaming deal camera crew. The court documents, which were immediately leaked by someone who clearly couldn't keep a secret, included line-by-line damages. Some highlights. Custom cake, $5,300. Floral reassembly after the cake impact, $1,800. Security overtime, $2,100. Embarrassment captured on a live stream with 3.2 million views. Priceless, but we'll let the judge decide. And the real kicker? Claressa also demanded compensation for emotional sabotage, claiming Remy's presence led to the bride experiencing symptoms of PTSD, including frosting flashbacks, aisle anxiety, and sudden distrust of red velvet. It would have been funny if it wasn't so real. Remy Ma didn't respond publicly. No posts. No interviews. Nothing. But her team? They released a statement that made things even worse. The official statement read, Ms. Reminisce Mackey suffered a temporary emotional lapse due to unresolved trauma and was provoked by years of betrayal and misrepresentation. She did not intend to cause harm but needed to be seen and heard. You needed to be seen? Mission accomplished. The internet dragged the statement worse than the police dragged Remy. Someone reposted it with the caption, "This ain't an apology. It's a dramatic monologue from an off-Broadway audition." Meanwhile, Claressa Shields was not done. After filing the suit, she posted a short clip to Instagram. No music, no filter, just her, holding the ruined wedding bouquet, staring directly at the camera. Her only words? "You threw cake. I'm throwing consequences." The clip hit 1.4 million views in 2 hours. And while Claressa was preparing her court case, Papoose was apparently preparing a whole new life. Rumors began swirling that he and Claressa were planning a second, private wedding ceremony, one away from cameras, bodyguards, and cake missiles. A close friend of Claressa posted, "We'll do it again. Without drama. Without ghosts from the past." And while fans were divided on whether Remy deserved sympathy or sentencing, the industry wasn't waiting. Multiple insiders confirmed that a major fashion campaign Remy had recently booked was canceled. A rep for the brand allegedly said, "We sell elegance." This wasn't elegant. Remy's scheduled podcast appearance? Pulled. A feature on a Netflix docuseries about female empowerment? Removed. She had, unintentionally, rebranded herself, not as a hip-hop icon, but as a wedding ruiner. Even longtime fans started to question the direction. One viral TikTok reaction video broke it down like this. Remy was loyalty goals. Remy was bars. Remy was strength. But this was not the vibe. This was a tantrum in heels. But the harshest blow of all? Word on the street was that Remy might be facing actual jail time. Because let's not forget, she's still technically under post-release supervision. And several legal analysts, including one who regularly appears on morning TV, said, crossing state lines to engage in a violent public disturbance violates parole conditions. Period. That alone could send her back inside. And here's the wildest twist in this entire mess. A leaked email, allegedly sent from Remy's assistant to an unknown PR firm, surfaced online. It read, "We need a redemption plan. Something powerful. Something that makes her the victim again. Possibly a documentary or an exclusive with Gayle King." People were stunned. Redemption? Already? Fans weren't ready. One quote tweet said, "She needs a timeout, not a Netflix deal." And amid the storm, Claressa's team quietly dropped the biggest announcement of all. A new documentary. Working title? The Vow and the Vendetta. Set to release in 6 parts, the series promises never-before-seen footage from the wedding, exclusive commentary from guests, stylists, and, allegedly, Papoose himself. Yes, the man at the center of the chaos is finally ready to talk. A teaser trailer posted to Claressa's page showed a single clip, a slow-motion shot of Remy mid-throw, cake in hand, fury in her face. Cut to black. Then the words. Some people bring gifts, others bring drama. It ends with Claressa's voice. She wanted attention. Now she has all of it. Mic drop. And just when you think it's over, social media gave it one last kick. Someone started a faux cake company called Remy's Revenge. Parody marketing. The logo? A 3-tiered cake mid-flight. Their first flavor? Bittersweet betrayal. Their slogan? Perfect for when your ex marries a champion. The comments section collapsed in laughter. But behind the memes, the GIFs, the TikToks, and the think pieces, one thing is painfully clear. This wasn't about a wedding. It was about pride, about history, about a woman who built a man, lost him, and couldn't watch someone else win. And in trying to reclaim her power, she ended up losing control and possibly everything else with it. Her image, her endorsements, her legal freedom. And now, she's become something she never planned to be. The symbol of what happens when too much heartbreak meets not enough healing. So now the dust has settled, the cake is dried, and the bride's bouquet is somewhere between fame and frosting. But the question still stands. Was Remy Ma just a woman pushed too far? Or did she walk into that wedding ready to set the whole day on fire just to feel seen again? Because throwing a tantrum is one thing, but throwing a $5,000 cake in front of cameras, cops, and your ex's new wife? That's not heartbreak. That's a declaration of war with a buttercream finish. Do you think she deserves sympathy or sentencing? Was this her lowest moment, or just another chapter in a messy legacy built on loyalty, loss, and loud exits? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are you Team Clarissa or Team Remy? Make sure you like this video, hit that subscribe button, and ring the notification bell, because this story isn't done. The trial's coming. The docuseries is coming. And you already know someone's gonna leak more receipts. This is just the beginning. And you already know where the real tea lives, right here on Gossip Spill Vibe.